Welcome to the Getting Started with MyAssistant training tutorial. This tutorial will provide you with a framework to begin using the MyAssistant software. Prior to watching this video, it's helpful if you already have the MyAssistant software installed, and this will allow you to just jump right in when we're done and get started. A couple resources to help you get the software installed include watching the Installing MyAssistant video available from the YouTube channel, and referring to the MyAssistant installation guide, which was included with your installation files. In order to watch this video in the best quality possible, change the view to full screen and change the video quality to HD using the gear icon on the video itself. The overarching goal of this tutorial is to help you develop a plan to start using MyAssistant as soon as possible. By the end of this week, our challenge to you is to have at least 3 tasks set up and pushing data from the MyAssistant software to someone in your company. With that goal in mind, this tutorial is going to help you gain an understanding of how MyAssistant can be used, so the types of things that MyAssistant can do that you can relate back to your own business. You will also gain an understanding of what is involved in setting up the MyAssistant software from both a conceptual and a technical standpoint, and will also point you to a variety of your training and support resources that are available on an ongoing basis. So after the software is installed, getting started with the software itself can be organized into 2 steps. The first step is determining how you're actually going to use MyAssistant. This involves designating someone to review your business needs, and then that person developing an actual list of business processes that MyAssistant can automate. So this step does not involve working within the software itself, so this can be done by anyone in your company. The second step of setting up the MyAssistant software is actually getting in the software and setting up MyAssistant to automate the processes that were brainstormed in step 1. This involves establishing a MyAssistant administrator and creating what are called MyAssistant tasks. The second step in getting started is a bit more technical, as it involves actually setting up MyAssistant to automate the processes that were brainstormed in step 1. These steps can be performed by the same person or by 2 different people. The following slides are going to break down each step accordingly and delve more into what is involved in each step as well as who should perform each step. So the first step we're going to break down is determining how you will actually use MyAssistant. So determining this should be done by someone who is familiar with your current management and accounting processes. Someone who knows what information people need to see and at what point in their workflow that they need to see this information. This person should have at least a basic understanding of how MyAssistant can be used, as far as knowing the types of things that MyAssistant can do and how it delivers information. And it's helpful if this person also understands how the Sage software is being used, but it's not a requirement. So once someone has been chosen to review your business needs, have them create a list of things that MyAssistant can do for your company. This slide will show several examples of things that MyAssistant customers just like you are already doing with the software and give you a good place to start. As we step through this slide, get out a piece of paper and a pen so that you can jot down anything that comes to mind. So the first major area that MyAssistant is used for is notifying someone of a specified situation. The first example of this are items with due dates. Some specific situations of items with due dates are vendors with expiring insurance and past due AR invoices. These are things that people need to be aware of by a specified date. An additional area that someone needs to be notified is situations where the longer they go on, the more it can cost you. Some examples of this include cost codes that are over budget and unapproved change orders. So go ahead and at this time write down at least 3 examples of situations where it would be beneficial if someone was notified of something, whether it be an item with a due date or a situation that costs more money the longer it goes unchecked. Another major area that MyAssistant is being used for is automating more of your management and accounting workflows. Some examples of how MyAssistant is currently being used to do this are emailing employees their direct deposit pay summaries, and this would be done after payroll is posted, sending tenants their monthly statements, and checking data entered in Sage for specified rules. For example, if you set up a new employee or service site, sometimes crucial data is missed and not entered in the appropriate fields. You can set up MyAssistant to monitor your accounting database and alert you if there is ever a new service site, employee, etc. entered in Timberline and specific information is missed. MyAssistant is also being used to communicate with external partners, such as customers and vendors. With MyAssistant, you can send vendors letters and notices, and you can send customers a list of all overdue invoices, and these emails can be addressed directly to them. Communicating with external partners is a great example of using MyAssistant to send individuals information that pertains only to them. And another major area MyAssistant is used for is to generate and distribute management reports. So you can send groups of people bulk information, or you can send individuals very specific information. Once again, write down 3 examples of things you think MyAssistant can do for you based on this slide. In the beginning, it's helpful to have 5 to 10 ideas of things MyAssistant can do for you. And then once you get the software pumping out information, it'll spur thought of additional things that MyAssistant can do. You have several resources helping you to develop a list of how MyAssistant will be used. This includes printing the list of what are called pre-built conditions that come with the MyAssistant software. So we have over 300 rules already built into the software, and all you need to do is turn them on. And this is a great place to start because it gives you something that will return data immediately. Review examples of how other customers are using MyAssistant by looking at the case studies at this website here. And there are several people that you can contact to ask what they've seen customers doing with the MyAssistant software, as well as their own ideas. A few of these people include your local Sage salesperson, your local consultant, your Sage account manager, and as always, you can contact Sage support. So now that we've reviewed what is involved in creating the list of MyAssistant, as well as several examples of these ideas, and we also talked about who should create this list, let's talk about how we actually set up MyAssistant tasks. So the person who sets up MyAssistant tasks should be familiar with your accounting software and what it's being used to do, the MyAssistant software, and it's very helpful if they have experience with developing custom reports. This will help with the ease of understanding and learning the MyAssistant concepts. There are several training resources available for the person who is going to set up MyAssistant, including watching the Setting Up New Tasks and Activating Pre-Built Tasks videos available on the MyAssistant YouTube channel, contacting Sage support with their questions about MyAssistant, visiting Sage University for both live and replay training classes, and contacting your local Sage 300 CRE consultant for tips, training, or setup help. So MyAssistant uses something called tasks to monitor your business processes. Tasks will monitor for specified situations in your accounting database. They will look up who should be notified of said situation, and they will pull together information for each recipient and send it. For example, a task can be used to send a list of jobs, invoices, or overdue lien waivers to whoever needs to see them. A task can be used to send a personalized letter to a recipient, and a task can also be used to send a report filtered with the recipient's information, such as sending project managers a list of only their over-budget jobs, and sending vendors a list of only their overdue invoices. Now that we've talked about what's involved in step 2, as far as setting up the actual software and determining who will set up the actual software, let's talk about what's next. To review, the first things you need to do are to create a list of needs that MyAssistant will address. Think through your daily workflows, your daily processes, and think about ways that MyAssistant can be used to get information in front of you when you need to see it. The next step is setting up tasks in the MyAssistant software. Take the list that was created of things MyAssistant will do and jump in the software and try and set these up. Once you have information in front of you, you'll begin to piece together how MyAssistant works, even more specifically the kind of things MyAssistant can do, and how MyAssistant can be best utilized in your office. So start by building a good list of potential use cases as stated above. And this week, We challenge you to set up 3 tasks in the MyAssistant software. Once you have your list, open up the software and get started. The best way to get familiar with the software is to work in it, and the best way to continue brainstorming things that MyAssistant can do is to see what it's already doing. As a review, here are some of your support and training resources. We really encourage you to subscribe to this MyAssistant training YouTube channel. By subscribing, you will receive an email each time a new video is added. Visit Sage University to see what classes are currently available as well as upcoming, and contact Sage support with questions about the software. Thank you for watching.